What do you think will happen if we don't act now?
I think that our landfills are just going to accumulate more and more trash. People are getting better about recycling, but people still aren't recycling, so our landfills are filling up more with plastics. Not as many people are composting either, so a lot of the food is getting thrown into the garbage, and they are filling up with gases in the landfills. And so I think that we're just gonna accumulate more and more and more trash, and they're gonna fall into our oceans, and they're gonna get tangled up in our wildlife, and we're gonna be buried in it.
Everything is connected. The climate is connected, our oceans, our lands, our air, and it's really up to us to demand the changes as consumers. So part of my monthly newsletters and things like that is to give people kind of just links in ways that they can request their grocery stores to reduce their packaging and give them sources to take action on a political / policy level.
I think a lot of people are unwilling to make major changes in their lives based on the environment because they don't feel a personal responsibility to do so. But I want to challenge that.
You're 100% right when you think to yourself that why should I make any changes? I'm going to die. Why don't I maximize my pleasure? That is a mentality that we have created. That is an individualism and a self-gratification mentality, and one of entitlement that we've established. But I don't believe that that's intrinsically our purpose. I think it has more to do with our trying to bypass our purpose and keep ourselves comfortable through sensory perception as opposed through emotional and mental well-being.
Yeah, so I do hear a lot of, well, it shouldn't be up to us, the individual, because there are mega corporations that are helping to contribute a lot to climate change and our waste crisis. So I do understand that they are producing way more trash in probably 1 or 2 days than the average person is in a lifetime, and I understand that, but I always think that big changes happen in small ways. So like what I said before, I'm trying to change and adapt my lifestyle to inspire others. And if I can inspire even 5 or 10 people in a couple months to start thinking about the way that they produce trash and they bring trash into their house and they export trash from their house, if I can just get them to start thinking of ways that they could be more eco-friendly, I think that's great. Even if only a few of us are doing it, it'll catch on eventually, and it is catching on. It is becoming a lifestyle that you see a lot on the internet and a lot on social media. So I'm a believer in us small people, we can really make a change and hopefully inspire these big corporations and organizations to start thinking more eco-friendly.
I think it's a two-way street. I think that the governments and the businesses are actually going by what we want. They're taking into account of what we are actually asking for. So if we ask these companies for more sustainable packaging, and we don't use our dollar towards the products that are selling things in plastic, then they won't actually end up selling it in plastic anymore. They'll start to go down into more sustainable route.
I don't know, there's 2 camps. There's the fix it camp, and that's the forget it camp. And I'm in the fix it, and I encourage you to join me, because it's when we get together as communities and come up with solutions and surround ourselves with like minds and positive energy, that's where it's going to change. There's always going to be somebody that's like, you're one person. But in my bus, there's many quotes that have that idea of like one person can make a difference. One of my favorite quotes was new this year on the back of the bus, and it's like, I can't change everything, I can't do everything, but because of that, it's not going to stop me from doing the things that I can change and the things that I can do. So, naysayers and other people with other priorities, that's always going to be there. That has always been there from the beginning. So it's really about you determining that you're not going to let that bring you down.
An important aspect of my sustainability journey has been finding people who teach, inspire, and support me. Whether they be friends, community members, YouTubers, the human aspect of our climate crisis is really what motivates me to learn and put in work.
Why is it important? Why are you passionate and why are you doing this work?
Life can have whatever purpose you choose for it to have. I have found that for me, my purpose is in minimizing the pain and suffering of others, whether that be a human or an animal, but my instinct actually is drawn towards those that are the most vulnerable, which are the environment and animals in that environment. So from that perspective, given that that's what I have designated as my life purpose, to actually try to enhance the quality of life of others and leave a legacy of that type of mentality, that's why this is important.
And it's a daily struggle, you know, human nature is to go from positive to negative, positive to negative. There's a little bit of hesitation, and I still have it myself, on this fear of rocking the boat and creating waves. Everything from like an anxiety of like, oh my God, I'm bringing my own mug to the coffee place. I hope this is a cool coffee place. So, you know, the worst thing that's gonna happen is they say, no, I can't help you, or give you a dirty look when you bring your own little produce bag or whatever. So I encourage you, and I'm still working on it myself, is to set the example, you know, even though sometimes it might be a little uncomfortable. It's out of my comfort zone sometimes. So I encourage you as a conscious consumer, as a concerned citizen and a steward of our world, to set the example, make the change, and also, if you can and you have time and energy, take the cause up. Do something that makes you know that you're taking that extra step. That's what it's about.
I really just want to let people know out there how it's so much easier to adopt an eco-friendly lifestyle than you think, and it is more financially accessible than you think. And at the end of the day, it's very satisfying to know that I'm really trying my best not to leave a big carbon footprint on this earth, and that I have helped other people realize that they too can start composting or start sorting their trash better.
My biggest belief is that we can do what we can in our own worlds. That's really, you know, we can change ourselves in any kind of problem that's out there. We have to just take it upon ourselves to sort of turn inwards and look at those issues and say, you know, what can I do from my end? And that's what I'm trying to do, is to try and every day learn and grow about how I can actually reduce my own waste, and doing it from my own angle.
I am encouraged. My business is about positivity, because if we don't have hope, we don't have anything.
We only have one Earth, and we are ruining it right now, and we need to do whatever we can to leave this place for our children and our grandchildren. We need to leave it a beautiful and livable place.
I've tried to make this series accessible and encouraging without putting the blame on individuals. But honestly, I'm scared, and I think you should be too. If we don't minimize our production, consumption, and energy use, even green stuff, it'll be extremely difficult to meet our climate goals. And even if we do meet them, there's no guarantee that we'll be able to avoid a climate disaster in the years and generations to come. If you don't think you've been affected by climate change already, you will soon. Many communities, including people of color, indigenous communities, and low-income people, are already being disproportionately affected. In addition to making changes in your personal life, I encourage you to advocate for massive, progressive changes in every level of government and in the private sector. I've included just a few ways you can help in the description of this video. Here's the message I want you to take away. Right now, our society prioritizes financial gain and personal convenience over environmental responsibility. It's not an easy task, but I urge you to combat that mindset by prioritizing the environment in every aspect of your life that you possibly can. We need to fight for the environment like our lives depend on it, because they do.